On Chicago Bears Now, we're going to take a look at this week's matchup as the Bears play host to the Lions at Soldier Field. Chicago looking to get revenge after that meltdown at Ford Field just a few weeks ago. We also have a full Week 14 rooting guide, both for the Bears' playoff chances, teams that you need to win to help improve the Bears' chances, but also for the tank standings. For example, tonight's game is critical in that regard. So lots to dive into here on today's show. We'll get you caught up on the playoff picture as well. Come on, guys. We cannot lose to my guy, Micro Mike, and Lions Talk and new subscribers this week. It's Lions Hate Week. It's tough enough that he's been talking smack since that meltdown a few weeks ago. Need more subscribers, free content here on your Chicago Bears. We're down 20 subs with just a couple of days until kickoff, so help us out if you want to take down Lions Talk and new subs this week. Special thanks to Roan for sponsoring today's episode of Chicago Bears Now. I love rocking Roan clothing. Comfortable, breathable, multifaceted, rocking their polo here today. Go check out Roan, roan.com/chatsports. It's going to get you 20% off at roan.com/chatsports with the code chatsports. Okay, let's dive into this game just a little bit. Lions, Bears at Soldier Field. Chicago coming off the bye week. Detroit kind of in a funk as of late. I mean, obviously we all know the Bears should have beat them in Detroit. They then got smacked by Green Bay on Thanksgiving, and last week they jumped up 21-0 against the Saints and almost lost that game. Barely held on 33-28. So I don't view this as some major uphill battle for Chicago. I definitely think there's a chance to win this one, and Vegas would agree. It's only a 3-point spread right now at Soldier Field. And another reason I'm cautiously optimistic about this game is the Bears are healthy. This was their injury report from yesterday, and Matt Eberflus also said that he expects everyone to be available. Noah Sewell was limited with the knee, but even if he's not back, I mean, he's like your fourth linebacker anyway. D'Onta Foreman, full go. Larry Borom, he's back. Tyrique Stevenson, it looks like he's ready to go. So the Bears are as healthy as they've been all year, and that's a very, very positive sign for Chicago. Now, you look at the NFC North standings. Obviously, the Bears, they're not going to win the division, obviously. The Lions are already at 9 wins, and the Bears can only get to 9 wins. But it's potentially getting crowded 2 through 4 if the Bears can win this game, as the bigger picture for Chicago is there any hope of making a wild card push over these final 5 weeks? We said it coming into this year. It's played out this year. The top of the NFC is very good. The middle and back end, not so much. And obviously, you got your kind of big four right now: Philadelphia, San Francisco, Detroit, and Dallas. Someone's got to win the NFC South. Atlanta has the inside track to do that. But even though there's a lot of traffic for that 6 and 7 seed with the Vikings, the Packers, you got the Rams and the Seahawks also at 6 and 6. Bucks, Saints flirting there at 5 and 7. Bears and Giants at 4 and 8. It's not impossible, but you're probably going to have to run the table. So coming up, we'll get into our Week 14 rooting guide as we take a look at some key matchups that could help the Bears move up these standings if, of course, they can take care of business first. So stay tuned for that coming up in just a few moments. So let's get into my game plan for Chicago as they look to take down Detroit. I think number one, and feels kind of obvious, right? Throw the ball downfield, please. Now, I'm not saying never, ever run a screen of some sort, but let's cut those down quite a bit and let Justin Fields sling the rock downfield. Number one, that actually can help us evaluate him a little bit more if he's actually having to make decisions and choose where to throw the football and not just a predetermined throw to the perimeter. And number two, it actually plays to his strengths, which I think will help this football team. I get it. I don't want to harp on the Minnesota game. We know they blitz a lot, but you still got to find shot plays even against blitz-heavy teams, which the Bears failed to do for the most part of that game. We saw the Bears have success throwing the ball downfield against Detroit up in Ford Field. Hopefully that continues, and hopefully that helps us evaluate this quarterback a little bit more as we know how critical these final 5 games are for him and his future in this franchise. More or less, Justin Fields, 200 passing yards this week. What do you guys think? Type M for more, L for less. He's averaging 212 over his last 5 starts. Let me know if you're going for more than 200, less than 200. I hope it's more than 200. I think it will be against this Detroit defense. It's been kind of struggling as of late. Appreciate Roan once again for sponsoring today's video. The men's closet needed a radical reinvention, and Roan stepped up with their commuter collection, as it offers the most comfortable, breathable, and flexible set of products known to man. And here is why. Roan can help you get ready for any occasion with the commuter collection. Happy hours, business professional meetings. If you're going to the golf course with their comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos, doesn't matter. They're versatile. You're going to feel good. If you have to travel a lot for work, you're going to feel good with their 4-way stretch fabric. A lot of companies and a lot of clothing brands, yeah, they look good, but Roan looks good. You also feel good. You feel comfortable when you're rocking Roan. Their wrinkle release technology is awesome as well. Those wrinkles disappear as you stretch and wear the products. It's that easy. My favorite part of Roan and what has saved me money in the long run getting going with their products is machine washable. I don't have to go to the dry cleaners anymore. I can throw their nice even long sleeve button down and dress pants into the washing machine, let them air dry. Don't throw them in the dryer. Let them air dry. Boom, you're good to go. If I need to pull the iron out, no big deal. But, you know, it's not just having to pay for the dry cleaning. It's the hassle of having to drive over there, drop it off, pick it up. I don't have time for that. I got a 8-month-old at home. I got other things I got to worry about. Roan.com/chatsports. Code chatsports going to get you going for 20% off with the most comfortable and best-looking clothing brand out there. Get started with Roan today. We appreciate them for sponsoring today's show. Okay, number 2 on my game plan, pressure Jared Goff. Every time the Bears play Jared Goff, I say the same thing because historically he's bad under pressure. We know that. That's why he has to have a good offensive line, which he does, but the Bears pass rush has started to be better since they've had Montez Sweat. Matt Eberflus has been a little bit more willing to blitz. I think he blitzed them 21% of the time last time out. And other than those 2-minute drill situations, the Bears held Jared Goff in check a few weeks ago. They picked him off 3 times. Should have been 4 if Jalen Johnson squeezed that pick 6. Goff's been shaky as of late, as have the Lions. So I really do think you're catching this team at a right time. You had the extra week to prepare, get healthy. Come on, man. Get pressure on Jared Goff and make him make some poor decisions like he did a few weeks ago. If you pick him off 3 times again and lose, like, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it was unbelievable that they lost 3 weeks ago. Okay, ride the hot hand at running back, whether that's D'Onta Foreman, whether that's Khalil Herbert, Roschon Johnson. I think all 3 are going to get opportunities, but if it's clear that someone emerges in this game, let them go and give that person, 15, 20 carries if you need to. I think all 3 of these players bring something a little bit different to the table. We know how hard D'Onta runs and how he can wear opposing defenses down. Khalil Herbert, he's got the most burst out of this group. I think he should be finally like 100% healthy with that extra week off. And I think we just saw Roschon Johnson play the best game of his career, and we know what he gives you in the pass game as a protector and as a receiver as well. So I think we'll see all 3, but don't be afraid to ride the hot hand if you're Matt Eberflus and Luke Getsy, please. And then lastly, embrace the elements. It looks like we're going to avoid snow. Last I checked, low 30s in temperature. Precipitation has shifted to Saturday, the day before, so I don't think it's going to be a snow game, but it's still going to be cold. It's still going to be pretty windy, so embrace the elements for what they are. You're playing a dome team coming down to your crib in cold weather. Like, be the physical team. Be the tough team. Like, that's what Chicago Bears football is all about, is embracing the elements and embracing the toughness and being that type of team. I thought the Bears did a good job of that up in Detroit for most of that game, but now you're actually doing it outdoors with these elements, so embrace it and go take care of business. Who you got in this one? Type CHI for the Bears, DET for the Detroit Lions. Who do you guys think wins this matchup in Week 14? Call me crazy. I actually like the Bears in this one. Now, they've never won 2 games in a row under Matt Eberflus. They just, for the first time, won a divisional game under Matt Eberflus, but I do think they've been playing a little bit better, and more than anything else, you're catching Detroit at the right time. Like, they're not playing their best football. The Bears had the extra week off. Like, you should be able to win this game at home if you are Chicago. I think it's a must-win game for Matt Eberflus. I really, really do. So give me the Bears 27-20. I think they finish this time and get to 5-8, and who knows, as we get into our rooting guide here, maybe, just maybe, if you can win this week and get a little bit of help, the path to the playoffs becomes a little more plausible at that point in time. So Bears, Lions, obviously, for Chicago. But I think it starts tonight. Let's talk about the tank rooting guide portion of this week. First, Patriots 2-10, Steelers 7-5. If the Patriots win this game, The number one pick is very close to being Chicago's because there would be a 2-game gap between Carolina and New England with about a month to go. And the Panthers don't look like a team that's going to win twice. I could see them winning once. I don't think they're winning twice. So if New England could pull off the upset tonight against our old pal Mitchell Trubisky, then the number one pick is very, very close to being the Bears. And it's already going to be a top 2 pick, it looks like. But, man, that would be huge if New England could find a win tonight or at some point down the stretch. So you've got that one. You look at the NFC playoff picture once again. So the teams you need to be rooting against, obviously the Packers and Vikings there, Rams and Seattle. NFC South is going to be the tricky one. Like, someone's got to win that division, but you got the Bucs and Saints kind of lurking in there as well. I'm not that concerned about the Giants for the rest of the season. I don't see them being as a real threat. So I think the keys are this. Minnesota or Green Bay, at least one of those really needs to fall off. And the NFC South can only get one playoff team. If that second team sneaks in, then there's really no shot. So the logos are the teams for each of these matchups that I think we should be rooting for. I think we should be rooting for Atlanta to start to separate in that division because that would get them to 7-6. They'd stay on top. Tampa would fall to 5-8. Remember, Tampa beat the Bears head-to-head, so you got to finish ahead of them in the win-loss category there. So need them to fall back to 5-8. Panthers at Saints. Obviously, we want Carolina to keep losing. I know the Saints losing would help the wild card path, but I still think big picture it's more important for Carolina to keep losing. Rams at Ravens. Obviously, the Rams at 6-6. You really need Baltimore to win that game, but good news is cross-country flight. Ravens are playing well, so I feel good about that. Vikings at Raiders. Can the Raiders beat the Vikings? Josh Dobbs has really struggled the last couple of games. Raiders coming off a bye week. Maybe that's so are the Vikings, though, but maybe at home Vegas can get that done. Seahawks at 49ers. Obviously need Seattle to keep losing, so go San Francisco, go. And then Monday Night Football. I don't think it'll happen, but can the Giants win at home over the Packers? The Packers are a concern, man. They've been playing really good football. The good news is, though, is if you're within a game heading into that Week 18 matchup, depending on how the tiebreakers fall, you'll have a shot to potentially leapfrog them. So we'll see how it plays out. None of it matters if the Bears lose this week. If they lose this week, they're done at 4-9. So got to beat Detroit. But if that happens and some other games start to fall in this team's favor, who knows? It's at least not impossible. All right, guys, we'll be back later this afternoon. Almost said tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow. But later this afternoon for a live show, 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 Central Time. Turn on those notifications and join us. We'll take your questions, talk some Bears football. See you then.